What's up, all you mentees? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and join me for my overview of the Batman The Long Halloween Deluxe Edition, Catwoman When in Rome. Long title, but I mean, that's the title. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we have the latest of the Batman Deluxe editions. This one here is Batman The Long Halloween Deluxe Edition, Catwoman When in Rome. Interesting that this is not called Batman The Long Halloween, the Deluxe Edition, the sequel, Catwoman When in Rome, because this is a follow-up to The Long Halloween. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. But here is a beautiful Tim Sale cover, just Catwoman hiding in the shadows with a nice purple tone to it. The spine of the book. And then that famous picture right there from the back of Catwoman, her whip, and the cat by Tim Sale. Now, if you're wondering what it looks like next to the other deluxe editions that have recently come out, here it is next to Batman The Long Halloween Dark Victory. I've got The Long Halloween boxed up somewhere. Sorry, otherwise I would have all three of them here. But here they are side by side. But really, more importantly, how they're going to look on your shelf. Here's what the beautiful spines look like. I really like that. And you're probably wondering, whoa, this one here is a lot thinner than this one and the previous volume. Well, you're not wrong. This one here has only 168 pages, retailing for $49.99. I find it really interesting that they decided to release it this way instead of with Haunted Night, which is the way they released it in the Absolute editions. But before I go into that, let's go ahead and take a look inside of the book. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm going to be talking just a little bit about the plot and when all of this takes place. Beautiful end paper right there. This is matte end paper, but the book is this really thin, glossy finish to it. Batman The Long Halloween, Catwoman When in Rome, Jeph Loeb, Tim Sale, Dave Stewart, Richard Starkings, and then you have the collection cover artists. And of course the creator of Batman, Bill Finger, and Bob Kane. There is an introduction here by Mark Chiarello, who was the editor at the time, and he found it really difficult to become an editor of this particular series because he was following in Archie Goodwin's footsteps. He did that in Dark Victory, but when they wanted to do another sequel, the introduction is pretty funny. I don't know if any of it is true, but he talks about how Tim Sale and Jeph Loeb begged him to do this. So we start off with Catwoman, and she is having a nightmare about Batman. And this is all while she is traveling in Europe with Edward Nygma, or Eddie as she likes to call him. And of course that is the Riddler. All of this takes place in the aftermath of The Long Halloween. As a matter of fact, this takes place during the events of Dark Victory. And you'll see a lot of that, especially with the Riddler and how everything is handled. I thought that was such a unique way of doing it, because if you remember in Dark Victory, without going too much into spoilers, Selina does play a big pivotal role in the crime, like how the crime is solved. How exactly she knew these things, well, this is exactly how she found out. So the story is pretty simple. Catwoman is trying to find out who her parents are. And all of this takes her to Rome. This is where she is trying to find out from one of the local crime bosses, Don Verini, who her parents are. She seems to think that he has ties to her parents. There's a mysterious woman named Louisa who might also know who her parents are. And, of course, Edward Nygma is going with her. It's interesting the way that Tim Sale draws the Riddler in this, whoa, mama, in this particular series here. He's a lot shorter. Like, I don't know. He just looked a lot different in The Long Halloween. So he draws him almost like the Penguin in a way. So during this trip in Europe that they're to get out of Gotham, they meet this gentleman here. This guy's known as the Blonde, Christopher Castillo, and he arranges a meeting with Don Verini. And of course, like everything else in the Bat family, Don Verini is murdered. He is poisoned by the Joker's gases. So who is to blame? Catwoman. And this becomes an all-out war against Catwoman to try to get her to try to capture her, to avenge the death of Dawn Verini. And together with the Riddler and the Blonde, she tries to escape all of the stuff going on. Now, this was only a 6-issue miniseries, but interesting enough, each of the story arcs take place during different days. Just 7 days of the week, Monday through Sunday. That's it. It all ends on a Sunday. So very similar to the Long Halloween, where it takes place, during a specific month. This all takes place during specific days. The artwork here, I'm going to skip a little bit, is beautifully drawn by Tim Sell. Beautiful, wonderful colors. And like I mentioned, this takes place during the same time that Dark Victory does. So my suggestion, and I strongly suggest this, is to read this first and then go back and read this, because in this, it spoils a little bit of what happens here. Now, it was only 6 issues, so that's all that's collected in here, 168 pages. I guess I understand why they decided to collect it like this instead of with Haunted Night. Printing it with Haunted Night would have really fattened the book up. But then Haunted Night takes place before Long Halloween, and this is the aftermath. I don't know. I mean, it's one of their top-selling books. Perhaps that's why they did it. I just find it interesting that it is $49.99 for, it's a deluxe edition. But I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is the thinnest deluxe edition that we have had at that price point. We've known that the price points of deluxe editions have moved up to $49.99. Hell, there's some standard editions that are that much, but at least there's like 12 issues in those. In this, we're talking 6 issues at 168 pages. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about that. As far as the extras in the back, once you get past the aftermath, you get here to the character sketchbook. Not a lot of extras, honestly. The same ones we've seen in the past. Some character sketches and character designs. I love that cover. I wish they had used it, honestly, because that's what was solicited for the cover, even though we got a new one, and that's okay. There is a lot of plot twist in this particular story, too, so if you enjoy the twists and turns of the Long Halloween and Dark Victory, well, this is not going to disappoint. And here's the bio on all the creators. As far as the paper quality, like I mentioned, it's this thinner, glossy paper that they're using lately. The book is sewn binding, and no eye to be seen there, because honestly, you don't really need one. Love this fight with Cheetah. Here's how it lays over towards the very front and towards the very back. And that, as they say, is that. If you are interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this deluxe edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you have been picking up Jeph Loeb and Tim Sell's masterpiece in this format. If you have the trade paperback, the omnibus editions, the absolute, the original single issues, and if you've never read it. Love to know all those comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And yes, huge thank you to our patrons. Could not be making videos like this possible without you all. And the description has the link to our Patreon and our Spreadshop. But everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.